Jon Bernthal's come a long way since his head-rubbing days as Shane on The Walking Dead. He's quite literally killing it on The Punisher, which is now available to stream on Netflix. The show is pretty dark, so it's only appropriate to check out some of the darker stories surrounding it. Here is the dark truth about The Punisher. If you're new to the channel, you can hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay up to date with our new stuff. Jon Bernthal's had a pretty incredible couple of years since leaving The Walking Dead. One of his recent movies was the Edgar Wright film Baby Driver, and another person in that movie, Kevin Spacey, who you may have heard some pretty awful revelations about recently in the news. Well, in a recent interview, Jon Bernthal spoke about his experience working with Spacey on the set of that movie. Wasn't good. He said that Kevin Spacey had been one of his acting heroes, but when he actually worked with him, he thought the actor was a bit of a bully, and that he really rubbed him the wrong way. There's a better way to phrase that, I'm sure, but the point stands. So The Punisher is a show about a guy whose main thing is that he's really good with firearms. And gun violence is a real problem in the US. Just recently, some of the worst mass shootings in US history took place, namely a massive terror attack in Las Vegas. Well, as it turns out, The Punisher TV show was scheduled to have a panel at New York ComicCon the Saturday right after that attack. In the wake of the tragedy, Marvel and Netflix both decided it wouldn't be appropriate to hold a panel for this kind of show, so they canceled it. Now, most people praised that decision. Others, on the other hand, tossed around words like snowflakes. Ultimately, they replaced the panel with an evening with Stan Lee, which I'm sure everybody walked away happy from. Because there's no doubt that Frank Castle is an absolute badass, it's normal that some people would want to emulate him in some ways. Some people that maybe shouldn't, though, the police. Unfortunately, though, nobody told that to the Catlettsburg Police Department in eastern Kentucky. They all pimped out their cars with the Punisher logo. Well, the Punisher co-creator Jerry Conway did not like that. In a big Twitter rant, he lashed out at the police department saying, quote, "He's a complex, morally compromised anti-hero, not to be emulated by cops." And it says a lot about the problem some cops have knowing what side they're on and that they would choose a Punisher logo for their cars. The police department have since taken those stickers off. On that same note of the Punisher not necessarily being the best person to idolize, that's apparently something that was very important to Jon Bernthal to convey in the show. He fought hard on set for them to be brave enough to turn their back on the audience. And in an interview with MoviePhone, he said, quote, "I think that's the real challenge, being bold enough to not make him too heroic. That being said, I think there's Frank Castle inside everybody. I think being a father and being a husband, he's a character that I deeply empathize with." So if sometimes you find yourself not necessarily liking Frank Castle in the show, that's why. And that's it for today's quick list. Let us know in the comment section what you think about these stories about the Punisher and if you've checked out the show yet. If you're watching this on Facebook, you can hit that link to jump over to YouTube and subscribe. Thanks for watching.